Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So if you guys didn't know, this is a teaser for a giant trailer that is coming tomorrow. There is a brand new Captain America Civil War right around the corner. If the Game of Thrones trailer yesterday didn't wake you guys up, this should do the trick. United we stand, divided we fall. So this is just the initial lineup. I don't know if Spider-Man is going to be in the big IMAX sequence. He might come after that. But the writers did explain what their they call it the splash page scene. It's a 15-minute battle scene shot with IMAX cameras. And as you probably guessed from the other teasers that they dropped, it takes place on this airport tarmac. The reason they call it a 15-minute splash page scene is because the writer said that as children, as we all used to do when brick and mortar comic book stores were the only way to get comic books, is you would go in and you would open up the splash page, like the 2-page spread of some giant comic book battle, and just try and count all the different characters that were in the scene. Sometimes there'd be hundreds. Probably the most famous splash page scene is this Jim Lee X-Men #1 splash page, but you get the idea. You just sit there for 15 minutes not buying the comic, getting yelled at by the store owner because you're just trying to count all the characters. That's actually a good question. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been chased out of a comic book store when you were a kid, or maybe even recently, because you were just opening and trying to read comics without buying them? Most of my comics I get on Comixology now. I don't buy a lot of paper comics anymore unless it's something that's really special or like a collected edition. But I think the last big series that I actually tried to just like sit in the comic book store and read before I actually bought it was Marvel's first Civil War, which actually wasn't too long ago. I mean, it's like 2006, 2007, so it's about 10 years ago. But they have confirmed that this is going to be the longest Marvel movie to date. It's still not quite as long as Batman v Superman. It's just a couple minutes shy of 2.5 hours. Batman v Superman is right at about 2.5 hours. So they're about the same length. You have to keep in mind, there's going to be like 10 minutes of credits after each of these movies. So really, like, whatever the runtime is, subtract 10 minutes from that for the actual movie. And they did confirm that there is no Thanos in the movie. They said there was just way too much stuff going on for Spaceman to make an appearance. They called him Spaceman. They and the producers felt like creepy Spaceman would completely overshadow anything that was going on in the movie. Like the minute he shows up in a scene, he's all you can think about. So whatever was going on with Cap, Iron Man, and Bucky would just get shoved to the side if Thanos ever showed up. So creepy Spaceman, Infinity Gems, going to be happening soon. And they did, speaking of Infinity Gems, Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch, was talking about her character in Vision's relationship. She says that there is a connection there. They're on different teams. She's Team Cap, he's Team Iron Man. But because both of their powers flow from the Mind Gem, there is a connection. You do have to remember, though, that they're not doing the exact comic book Civil War story. There is a Stanford incident, but it's not quite the same thing. They're not doing Inhumans, and there's not going to be any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. people in the movie. There will be Captain America Civil War stuff happening on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so the crossover will mostly take place on the TV show. They didn't really say which episode that's going to be, though, but I am going to post my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video later today. Ward is confirmed to be playing the Hive character from the Secret Warriors storyline in the comics, if you're familiar with that. I'm really curious to see if after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season, Hive inhabits another body and we get Madam Hydra. The way the TV show is using the Hive character is a little bit different than it was used in the comics. The TV show version is a little more powerful, so be sure to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season. There's going to be crazy Inhumans. They just introduced a couple new characters, but I'll explain that during my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video later tonight. So be sure to subscribe for new Captain America Civil War trailer tomorrow and new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. While you guys wait for me to post that video, if you haven't seen it 5 billion times, you can click here for the Game of Thrones Red Band trailer, and you can click here for all my Captain America Civil War videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.